with the new Premier League season arriving, that can only mean one thing.
You're having a laugh! It's 4-0 after 34 minutes!
It's time to talk about newcomers to the league and learn where their homes come from. We're starting alphabetically with the team on the south coast and the beginning of one of England's greatest managers.
No, I'm not a winner, dude. No, fuck off.
Bournemouth, and their home of the Vitality Stadium. It's time to head back to 1899 when a football team in the Bournemouth suburb of Boscombe was founded, imaginatively known as Boscombe Football Club. For the first few years, the club would play their football at the nearby Kings Park. It was in 1910 when the club were given a piece of land, a former gravel pit, by the local family, Cooper Dean, to which the ground would be named after them as Dean Court. During this time, Boscombe were playing their games in local leagues until 1923 when the club made it into the Football League in the 3rd Division South. As a result, improvements to the stadiums were made, including purchasing fittings from the British Empire Exhibition at Wembley Stadium, which allowed the construction of a 3,700-seater stand. The club's record attendance came in 1957 when Bournemouth and Boscombe Athletic played Manchester United in the FA Cup, attracting over 28,000 fans. In 1971, the club would rename itself again, this time to the more familiar AFC Bournemouth, and adopt a new badge, which is still around today, which includes a seemingly random chap heading a ball. However, this is no random man, and is in fact club legend Dickie Downsett, who played for the club during the 1950s and 60s. It wasn't until the 21st century when the stadium was radically transformed, with the ground being completely rebuilt, including the pitch being rotated 90 degrees to move the stadium away from nearby housing. When the stadium was completed, there were only 3 stands, with a capacity of 9,600. Ground would get a 4th stand in 2013, when Bournemouth were promoted to the Championship, taking the capacity of the stadium to over 11,000. Given the club's recent presence in the Premier League and a stadium capacity of just over 11,000, which is tiny for the league, you'd obviously expect there being plans in the pipeline to get more bums on seats to watch the Cherries, and you'd be right. However, in 2005, with the club facing financial difficulties, sold the ownership of the stadium to raise cash, and by not owning the stadium outright, makes it difficult to expand the existing home. As a result, the club have looked at options to build a new stadium, with numerous sites being proposed over the years, but as of 2022, nothing concrete has been decided on, so for the time being, Bournemouth will continue to have a smaller stadium than nearly half a dozen teams in League 2. Just let that sink in. If you like this video, you might like to check out the history of some of the Premier League stadiums, which is on screen now. This has been a Civil Conversation, and I will see you in the next video.